Hey, it's Dr. Gareth here again, and we're going to talk about deadlifting now. So the deadlift is another very useful exercise because it mimics a lot of things that you do at home and at work throughout your day. Now, in terms of equipment, my favorite thing for this is a kettlebell. It's a fairly versatile piece of equipment you can use for lots of different kinds of exercises. You can get them from your local sports store, and in New Zealand you can get them off Trade Me fairly cheaply. You could use a dumbbell. You could use, if you go to the gym, you can obviously use a barbell. And again, go and ask a personal trainer for some tips because it does change the dynamic a little bit. If you're really stuck at home, you could even use your vacuum cleaner if you've got one of those regular portable sized vacuum cleaners. So in terms of concept, two really important things. So it's really useful to exercise for your muscles. So you engage your core, your quads, your thighs, your glutes, so your butt muscles, and your hamstrings. And more importantly, it actually teaches your brain how to lift properly. So because we sit so much, driving, sitting at desks, on the couch, we don't practice these movements like we used to, and what happens is your brain starts pruning the connections. So basically the connections start dying that are related with those movements, and so we need to practice them more so that you get that muscle memory, so your brain creates those connections, so when you go to lift something you don't have to think about it so much. It just happens because you've practiced it so many times. So that's the concept. So the actual action, a couple little things. So one, again, we want to have our feet relatively shoulder width. You can open your stance, especially if it gets super heavy. This does help quite a lot. But in terms of the actual exercise here, we want to try and keep it about shoulder width. Now, you're going to try and have the weight roughly in line with the balls of your feet. And it's very similar to squatting. You're going to keep your heels on the floor. You're going to keep this little arch in your back, or at least flat. We don't want you rounding your back. The minute you start rounding your back, you've stopped using the technique properly and you've potentially got too much weight. When I use a barbell, I get to a certain level, probably for myself about 140 kilos, where I start rounding my back to try and lift it up. The minute you start rounding your back, stop the exercise and drop to a lighter weight. So, again, right at the bottom here, here's one thing that is extra. You're going to actually try and squeeze your shoulder blades together. And before you do the movement, then you're going to lift it up, driving through your feet and standing up, and squeezing your butt muscles together. Then you're going to drop down, same thing, keeping your low back in that little arch and keeping your shoulder blades nice and tight together, and then relaxing. Now, very similar to the squat, you're going to do 3 sets of 10. You can vary the tempo. You can make it faster, you can make it slower. I recommend 2 seconds up, 2 seconds down, with a pause at the top. Hopefully that's valuable. Again, share this with anyone that you think would benefit from it. And like our YouTube channel, our Facebook page, and our Instagram page. And let's make the Hypersis Coast healthy together.